In this video, we're going to create this modern toilet. We'll start by introducing a polygon cube. I'll go to Create, Polygon Primitives, Cube, and I'll drag the footprint of the shape and then give it the height I might want. I'm not using a reference, so if you've got a reference, you could always put it on an image plane. And I'm going to be using the edge loop tool for this. So I'll click on my edge loop tool. And because it's going to be flat in the back, I'll start by adding an edge loop back there. And I'll hit 3 on the keyboard. You can see now we don't have anything close to what we want. So let's begin to add a few more edges. I'm returning to 1 when I introduce these. And I'll click and put 1 in the middle. And then I'm going to go to Edges, and I'll scale the front edge out. Once again, hitting 3. Back to 1. I'll use my edge loop to put an edge in on the top. And I'll hit 3 again, so you can see now we're starting to get the shape we might want here. Now I want to be able to take the lid off of this as well, so I'm going to put another polygon face down in this area. And we've got these areas kind of puckering out in the back, so I'm going to put an edge loop in this area as well. And down at the bottom, we're going to split along this line. Now we'll create those little buckles that appear on either side at the back. I'm going to go to my top view, and I'm going to right click and I'm going to choose vertex, and I'm just going to straighten this vertex out. And then I'll return to my perspective view. I'll get the edge loop and put another edge in. I'll go to Face, and I'll select the faces I'd like to scale out to achieve that bit of a buckle. Now I'll get my scale tool, and I'll just pull them out. And I'll hit 3 on the keyboard to see if it's exaggerated the amount I want. I'll go back to 1 on the keyboard. And I'm going to add another polygon edge loop through the center of this so I can round this off a little bit more. Right now it's a little too flat on either side. I'll drop another edge in, and then I'm going to pull the front edges in a little bit to have it round off there. So I'll go to Edge, and I'll select its top edge on this side, double click with the Shift key at the bottom. Again, Shift held, click on the top, double click the bottom, hit R for scale, and then I'll just pull them in a bit. And once again, I'll hit 3 on the keyboard to see if that's what I want. If I needed more, I could always do so. I'm going to address these buckles in the back again. And when I hit 3 on the keyboard, it still rounds off here. It's a little bit more pronounced on the actual toilet. So I will get the edge loop again, and I'll just drag and put an edge right in here. And then I'll go to my side view. And in my side view, I'll choose Vertex, and I'm going to select vertices right through the entire series of edges here. If we look at our perspective view, you can see what we selected. Now that I've got that, I'll get my scale tool and I'll pull that in. So if I would hit 3 on the keyboard, it's a little bit more pronounced now and descends a little bit more abruptly. If I needed more, I could always scale it in. Now we're going to split the geometry where the toilet seat would meet the bowl. I'll return to 1 on the keyboard. I'll hold down my space bar. I'm going to go to Face. And in either the front or side view, I'll select the faces at the top that represent the lid. I'll hold down the space bar, go to Edit Mesh, and I'll choose Extract. You can see now they're separated out. I'll select the top, right click and choose Object Mode, and I'll center the pivot. Now if I hit 3 on the keyboard, for both of these pieces of geometry we have something like this. But in this model you can see it kind of softly bevels in for the lid as well as the top. So we'll add those as well. I'll return to 1. I'll get my edge loop. I'll work on the top first, and I'll select and insert an edge here, and then I'm going to select edge, double click on the bottom of this piece, get my scale tool, and I'll scale it in. I'll hit 3 on the keyboard to see what I've got. Now it's a little too round in this area. So now that I've got the initial edge in, I'll click on my edge loop tool again, and I'll drop another edge closer to the one we just introduced, hitting 3 on the keyboard and going to the object mode. Now it's holding together a little bit better down there. I'll do the same for the bowl itself. Click on the edge loop tool, introduce an edge, double click the edge around the opening, hit R for scale, and I'll pull that in. Both of them selected. I'll hit 3, and there we have a basic closed toilet.